Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Today I wanted to share with you some surprising foods for long-term food storage. Whether you're worried about having enough food for natural disasters, chaos from an upcoming election, or even the second wave of the COVID coronavirus pandemic, there are all kinds of reasons why you would want to have food storage. And sometimes finding variety in the foods that you store can make all the difference in helping your meals to be interesting. Add variety so you don't get food fatigue. So these are some of the items that I've been stockpiling. Some are new, maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. But I thought I would share what I thought were some unusual items that you can add to your long-term food storage. The first food to try is powdered peanut butter. I like the PB2 powdered peanut butter. I like to sprinkle it over oatmeal. You can put it on cereal. You can add it to hot chocolate. You can add water to it, stir it up, and use it in different recipes, even make a fruit dip. I've had powdered peanut butter that I've opened that was 5 years past the sell-by date, and it was still fine. The next surprising food is dried mushrooms. We like to have mushrooms. I don't care for the ones in a can. Fresh ones just don't last. But you can find dried mushrooms in the produce department in little packages. They have all kinds of different varieties. Dried mushrooms are a great way to add full flavors into your recipes. But since they're dehydrated and not freeze-dried, they're still flexible. You can store them away in an airtight container, but don't use an oxygen absorber with something like dried mushrooms because they're not freeze-dried dry enough to have no moisture in them. If you add oxygen absorbers to foods that still have moisture in them, you risk getting botulism. You can store them in a clean canning jar and vacuum seal them because that doesn't remove as much air as an oxygen absorber. The next surprising food for long-term food storage is Wisps. They're little bits of dried cheese. They're full flavor, they're lactose-free, and they're great if you want something like a keto diet. Look for Wisps in the produce department. They have about 1.5 years shelf life. Look at the best by use by sell-by date, and as long as you store them unopened, they'll stay fresh until that date. Just like when you open up foods like crackers and cereal, they start to get stale faster once they're open. But if you like real cheese, look for the Wisps. It's a great way to have actual cheese that'll last in your pantry for 1.5 years, maybe longer. The next surprising food is lemon powder. I found this true lemon. It's crystallized lemon powder. It's great to add to sprinkle over vegetables. You can add it into your baked goods. If you add this to the water when you're steaming your asparagus or your artichokes, it helps them retain their beautiful green color. Think of all the ways you enjoy using fresh lemon and try sprinkling some true lemon in its place. Maybe you're familiar with ghee. It's clarified butter. It actually originated in India. It's great to use in cooking. It has all of the milk solids removed, is why it can last in your pantry. It's a shelf-stable food. You can make your own ghee or you can buy it already sealed to last. The nice thing about the ghee is it can last several years in your pantry. Once you open ghee, it'll last about 3 months, or stored in the refrigerator, it can stay fresh and useful for up to 1 year. Ground flaxseed is a versatile and very healthy food to have on hand. You can even use it as an egg replacement when you're baking. You can mix 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water and use it in your baked goods. It's also very nutritious and healthy. You can sprinkle it over your cereals. You can add it to mayonnaises, sprinkle it over yogurt, add a spoonful into your baked goods for added nutrition. Maybe you've seen me talk about the Nido powdered whole milk. It's called Nido Fortificata, and you can find it on the Hispanic aisle. It is actual dried whole milk, and it is really delicious. The powdered non-fat dry milk just doesn't cut it at my house, and we really like the flavor of the Nido milk. You can add 1/4 cup of the Nido into a cup of warm water and stir it around. It blends better if you use it into the warm water, and it mixes very easily, and then it never separates. It stays just like a whole regular milk. You can mix it up, store it in the refrigerator for drinking, or scoop it out as you need it to add into different recipes. powdered cheese. This stuff from Augustin Farms is really delicious. It's very smooth and powdery. It's great for making cheese sauces, cheese soups. You can sprinkle it over potatoes, bake it into breads, use it to make mac and cheese, and combine it to make some cheesy grits. The nice thing about the Augustin Farms freeze-dried foods is they have a very long shelf life. They're packaged as a long-term food storage item. You can put it away and it'll stay fresh for many, many years. Some of the foods last for 25 or 30 years. The cheese does say 10 years. But unopened, stored in a cool, dark, dry place, it's likely to last longer. But we don't want to count on foods lasting longer. We're lucky if they do, but it's best to rotate your foods within the guidelines of the manufacturer. Augustin Farms also makes tomato powder. The tomato powder is great. Add water, make sauce, paste, tomato juice, marinara sauce, enchilada sauce, tomato soup, and you can add it into any recipes that require tomato product. It also is freeze-dried. It's very powdery and dense. It's easy to stir with water, mix it into other ingredients, add the great tomato flavor that we enjoy in so many of our recipes. The next was a food item I haven't seen in decades. I didn't know they made this anymore. Kraft spaghetti dinner. It comes all ready, just like, say, noodle-roni or mac and cheese. It has the spaghetti noodles and a packet of the spaghetti sauce mix. You have to boil the noodles and then add a can of tomato paste to make this easy spaghetti dinner. Maybe you remember these from childhood. I haven't seen them since I was a child, so maybe a lot of you weren't even alive since I last saw this. If you're going to store something like a boxed meal, make sure that you have the other ingredients that you need to make it. You would want to have some either tomato paste. You could also use tomato sauce, or if you had the tomato powder, you could still make the spaghetti and have a meal for your family. Another food I'd never seen before was sweet Sioux chicken and dumplings. A lot of the foods that I have bought are no longer available in the stores, and so then I've been looking around and finding some surprising new foods. I haven't opened this yet, so I don't know for sure if it's any good, and that was how my rule is. If you see something you think you might like, buy one and try it. If you like it, you can go back and get more. You don't want to buy 10 of something to find out you don't like it at all, and then you've wasted your food storage dollars storing foods that nobody wants. If you've tried sweet Sioux chicken and dumplings, tell me what you think about it and how you serve it to make it even better. That's my selection of surprising food storage items. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Maybe you have tips and tricks on how you use these items or other surprising foods that we all might like to know about to add to our long-term food storage. Leave us a comment below, any tips and tricks and suggestions to help us all learn to store foods and enjoy our meals better. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.